Silvana lived in a modest house, built decades earlier by her husband, a tireless bricklayer whom life had taken away from her too soon. Since then, that house, with its rough walls, creaking roof, and vegetable garden that extended like a green blanket in the back, had become her entire world. There she had cried, prayed, and smiled. There she had raised her son Marco alone. Every morning, Silvana rose before the sun rose over the horizon. She put on her apron, tied her hair in a messy bun, and went out into the silence of the morning with the lantern in her hand. The first stop was the stable. The cows, accustomed to her pace, turned to her, mooing softly. She called them by name, one by one, as if they were part of the family. She milked them by hand with slow and loving gestures. The fresh milk went into large steel containers, part of which she used to make cheese, cream, and butter. The rest she delivered to the village's regular customers. Before continuing, subscribe to our channel and activate the bell so you don't miss any of our stories. Then he went to the garden. Each plant was the fruit of his labor: ripe and juicy tomatoes, cucumbers, onions, lettuce, zucchini, and peppers. He cared for them as if they were his children. He talked to them. He caressed them. He watered them even when his back hurt and his hands were chapped. For years he had carried his boxes to the Saturday market, braving the sun, the rain, and the wind. She had never had time for herself, but she didn't care. Her only wish was that Marco could study, grow, live a better life than hers. When he got a scholarship to college, she cried all night, not out of sadness, but out of joy. Every penny she earned was for him. She sent him parcels with cheese, preserves, a few carefully ironed shirts, and he, in the early years, responded with letters full of affection. Then, over time, those letters became shorter and shorter. Then they disappeared. Marco had become a successful man, a successful lawyer. He had an office in a big city, a full life, and as far as Silvana knew, an elegant girlfriend. She, on the other hand, had remained alone in her country house, with her hands marked by the earth and time, but with her heart always full of love for the son who was her reason for living. When the calendar marked Marco's birthday, Silvana decided to do something she had never done before: take the train and join him. She wanted to hug him, look him in the eyes, tell him how much she loved him. Maybe she would even spend a few days with him, maybe cooking together, like they used to. She took a suitcase and put inside her few things: 2 clean suits, a box of homemade cookies, and a special photo. It was a photo from many years ago, Marco as a child, sitting on her lap, both smiling in front of the house. She had always kept that photo next to her bed. Now she would give it to him. It was her gift. On the day of departure, she woke up earlier than usual. She washed herself, combed her hair carefully, put on her best suit, the one she wore to go to church, and headed to the station. She boarded the train slowly, helped by a kind conductor. During the journey, she looked out the window at the changing landscapes, from the green and silent hills to the gray buildings and the incessant traffic of the city. Her heart was pounding. She was happy. She would see him again and be able to hold him one more time. When she arrived in the city, she took a taxi, as important people do. Everything seemed so big, modern, and cold, but she didn't let herself be intimidated. She knew where to go. She arrived in front of the building where Marco worked. She had never seen such a tall building, all glass and steel. She looked up, excited. She thought, "My son works here. He has become an important man. I am proud of him." She entered the hall, slowly went up to the indicated floor. When she saw Marco behind a glass wall, her heart leapt in her chest. He was sitting at a large table with other men in suits and ties. He seemed confident, determined, powerful. Silvana smiled, raised her hand and gave him a little nod. But Marco didn't smile. He stared at her, then immediately took the phone. After a few minutes, a security guard approached her. "Madam, can you please come out?" "But I am Marco's mother. He is my son. It's his birthday today. I came to surprise him." The man received a nod from Marco. "I'm sorry," Mr. Marco said. "He doesn't know you." Silvana blanched. She turned to her son, incredulous, but he had already looked away. She was escorted out without being able to say a word. She sat on the bench in front of the building, clutching the photo in her hands. She remained there for hours, motionless with her bag on her knees. When Marco came out, he was with a beautiful woman, elegantly dressed. Silvana stood up again. "Marco, it's me, your mom." He barely looked at her. "Mom, please, you can't show up like this. Don't you understand? You're out of place. I'll get you a return ticket. Come home, please." Silvana lowered her gaze. In a broken voice, she said to him, "Okay, my son, but remember one thing. With hands that smell of milk and earth, I raised you. I made you who you are. You only had one task. You couldn't forget where you came from, your roots. But you did it." She took the train back and returned home that evening. She no longer looked out the window. Tears blurred her vision. Her heart was broken. She resumed her life in silence, in the garden and in the stable, without speaking of her son anymore. Only a few nights would she get out of bed, take the photo and hold it to her chest. Then, one day when she had lost hope, she heard a knock. She opened the door. Marco was there, alone with shining eyes. "Mom, forgive me." Silvana didn't speak. She hugged him tightly, and he, like a child, burst into tears. "I was ashamed of you, and now I'm ashamed of myself. I denied the woman who gave me everything." She caressed his face with her hard, gentle hands. A mother's heart never forgets, never judges, and never closes the door. "Come in. It's time for dinner." And that evening, for the first time in years, they had dinner together. Bread, cheese, and a love rediscovered. Did you like this story? Leave a comment below. Thanks for watching the video till the end, and see you next story.